Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Distractible, a Wood Elf production, the 5-star show as voted by over 69,000 reviewers. This week, Mark admits to an uncharacteristic antipathy for a desk clerk. Bob marries a flapper, and his tummy says no to a challenge. Wade states he is like Chucky, until he gets butterflies of epic proportions. Yes, it's time for Go With Your Guts. Now sit back and prepare to be distracted and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone. All of you listening today, welcome to Distractible, the wonderful podcast that everyone knows and loves, hosted by me, Markiplier.
Wow.
And today, what?
Hosted by all of us. Not exclusively. You made it sound like it's your podcast.
Even if you did set it up to host 2 in a row.
I mean, well, I didn't set it up to host 2 in a row. That was Bob's doing. Or whose doing was it? It was Bob's doing?
I think
Yes.
it was yours and maybe Wade's partially.
I do not take any responsibility for him hosting twice in a row.
Well, it sounds like it was just Mark's fault then.
Agreed.
All right, it's all my fault. So I am the guilty party here. I declare myself guilty because I am the judge of this episode, and therefore I will not be allowed to judge the next episode. I declare it.
Do you decree it?
I decree it.
It's awfully presumptuous.
But in this episode, I am the host for now, so I will follow through with my solemn duties to be impartial as I judge Bob and Wade in their endeavors in this episode. How are you guys doing today?
Hey, that's us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's when we come on. Hey guys, how's it going? Hello.
Hey.
Oh, I'm pretty good. You may hear some faintly, extremely loud hammering and table sawing. There's some construction in my backyard, so that's unfortunate timing.
That's just our audience applauding. Hold the applause, everyone. Hold the applause. I know.
All the applause. Yeah, you know, the applause.
I'd like to think that every time someone starts listening, they just start clapping like, yes, yes, yes. Just in their car, in their office.
That's the impression that I get from some people on the subreddit.
Yeah.
I love the subreddit posts where people are like, don't drive and listen to this. I almost died. They said something that was so funny. I almost drove my car off a bridge.
Oh, God.
It's kind of funny, but it was scary.
Don't do that.
like,
Please.
God, jeez.
Don't do that out there.
Pay attention to the road or whatever you're doing. Be careful. I know we're funny, but man.
Oh, man. Yeah. That is great. I do appreciate it. I want to see videos of people not as they're driving. Trying
God, I was gonna
to
say.
No, that's not what I'm asking for. That's not
I want to see video evidence of them almost dying while they laugh.
no. Never mind. I'm not going to say anything.
No, finish it. Just don't do this while you're driving. Do this safely. Whatever Mark's about to say, do it safely.
Yeah, whatever this is, I just wanted to get videos of people in strange places, just listening to the episode and just going, whoa! Yeah! But, I mean, now I'm starting to think that's just going to cause problems, so don't do anything I say.
Evidence of people using our sponsored products. Oh, wait. Is one. Not that one.
I mean, yeah, wow. All
Look,
right.
I guess you can. Look, we're not ones to tell you what you can and can't do.
No, don't videotape it, but do use a condom if you're going to have sex, okay? Those are the things.
And do it on your.
God, jeez.
Still sponsored by.
Please bleep out the names of the sponsors that Wade is about to throw into this awesome
Yeah.
bit
While
exactly.
eating a chicken sandwich.
while eating your favorite chicken sandwich.
In other grand news, our ratings on at least Spotify have hit 69,000 votes ratings.
Hell yeah, I saw
Is
that.
that good? Nice.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's good, right?
5-star rating with 69,000 reviews, baby.
Yep, that's how we do.
Is that more than Rojogan?
No.
All right.
Mr. Rogaine himself. No.
It's funny because he's bald and bald people.
That is funny. I didn't even think about the bald thing.
Oh, man. Oh, wow. Anyway, anything new going on in you guys' life?
My parents visited last week. They were here. They were running an RV, and they drove all the way from Ohio up through Canada and then down to the Bay Area where we live, and driving home now.
Mm-hmm.
A little while back, I guess, we had Molly's family visit, and then the very next week we went to New York, and then we got back, and 2 days after we got back, we had a free inspection on the house, and the inspection was like, well, I wish I had some good news for you. And I was like, well, that's the way I love to hear these things. What's going on? He's like, everything's broken. You need to replace it. Oh, So we got a new HVAC, which I didn't know what HVAC stood for, but it's basically your furnace, your AC unit. If you have a humidifier, you know, that entire system. So they went and checked our ducts and fixed a leak, replaced our AC, replaced the furnace, and all that fun jazz. And the guy kept telling us how the new equipment wasn't going to spy on us, which made us a little nervous. So I keep making sure that, you know, I'm probably not being spied on. I'm not sure why I was reassured about that part 3 or 4 times. Like, I heard more about how the equipment does not spy on us than I did about what it does right. So,
that's really reassuring.
but I feel comfortable other than the excruciating paranoia.
As you should.
I mean, he told you it doesn't spy on you. That's the right thing to say.
Yeah, but imagine meeting somebody for the first time and they're like, hey, I don't watch you shower through your walls. Like, great.
Yeah, good. I hope you don't.
Thanks, pal.
Why would you say that?
Don't do that. I'm glad you don't. Done.
Yeah.
I'm happy, satisfied. There we go. Perfect.
All right. Well, I guess if you want to make someone feel comfortable, just tell them you do not watch them while they're naked and alone or think that they're alone.
Well, I've actually been uncomfortable since I realized you've never said that to me.
Yeah. Wade, you've never reassured me a single time that you don't watch me drive to my chiropractor's office and then watch my chiropractor sessions through the window.
That is true.
Where I have my shirt off.
I have not said that to you guys. We should probably get to the topic, though.
Why?
What?
You avoiding something?
Yes.
This is the topic.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Wade watching us in our everyday lives?
Yeah.
Let's get to the bottom of it.
Because I look up to you and admire you and stuff, and I try to make a better me based on
You
the...
look up to he looks up to us.
Is that a short joke?
From our drains.
Oh.
Interesting.
Ah, it was a hint.
I see.
I knew that camera plugged into the plug in my bathroom was a camera and not an air freshener.
I knew that camera was a camera. I always suspected
It
it.
says Canon right on the front of it. And I was like, Canon doesn't make air fresheners. Whatever.
I just think it's important to make sure that we know there are no walls between us.
There's no walls between us, eh?
I think he's in the walls between us.
He's in the walls. He's in the walls. Is he in the fucking trees? Anyway, Unison's reference.
All right, you each get 2 points.
Hey, 2 points.
Am I the host?
Nope.
Okay.
All right. Moving on to the topic of the day.
Good. That's good.
Starting off, deducting 2 points from Wade. And
What's that for?
just to even things out.
Yeah, well, you got bonus points, so he's taking them away from you.
Yeah. So Wade minus 2 points. So that puts Bob at 2 points and Wade at 0.
I'll take it, I guess.
All right. It's neck and neck as we go into the first chapter of this discussion. It's going to be a return to form, a little bit of an old school way of doing things. I want to hear about personal experiences because I thought of something that occurred not recently, but a few years ago. I don't know if you guys have ever seen me walk into any random store and order something, but I think it's a very normal experience. Amy sometimes thinks that I'm a little odd when interacting with, you know, people behind desks or cash registers. Like, if, for example, just the other day, there was a store that sells cream puffs, and I've never had a cream puff, and I wanted a cream puff. So when I go in the store and I go up to this guy, I go like, I would like a cream puff.
Did he work there?
Yeah, of course. He worked there.
Okay. That's a good start.
Yeah, he was behind the cash register. I can only assume that he worked there. And then, you know, I confidently knew what I wanted. I go up there and I ordered a cream puff. And I got a cream puff. Well, they said like, okay, what kind? And I was like, what do you recommend? And they said, there's the menu. And I said, cookies and cream. And they said, what filling? And I was like, what do you recommend? And this is the exact inflection that I do it. So anyway, the point of this is not about this particular story because this was a perfectly ordinary interaction.
Sure.
But there was another occasion. This is just a set of baseline that like sometimes Amy thinks that I'm a little odd when I order things from stores. It's not necessarily true, or I don't think so. But this is different. We're in a hotel. We're checking in. We are traveling somewhere. I won't name specifically, but we're going in there. And the desk clerk there, it started off as a perfectly normal interaction, you know, like, okay, what's your name, ID, credit card. But the more that I interacted with this guy, the more I was skeezed out. And I can't explain why or how or what caused it, but something about his like body language, the way he spoke, like just a vibe I was getting from him. Everything said in my gut not to trust this guy. Right? everything about it. And Amy saw this. Like Amy saw this and like noticed that I was being not rude. I wasn't like insulting or yelling or anything, but I was cold. Like I was oddly distant in these interactions, and there was like a lot of weird lingering pauses in the conversation that was just like extremely uncomfortable. And even I walked away from it very uncomfortable. But everything was fine, you know. We got the room keys and we go up to the hotel. But in the elevator, Amy turns to me and like, how are you so rude to someone who works like one of those jobs? And I said, Amy, like, I don't know what it was, but everything about that interaction screamed that it was wrong. I felt it in my gut that something was horribly off about that person. I don't know why, but there was no way that I could physically be my normal, nice, like self to this person, because everything in my gut said, don't trust this man. There's something wrong with this person. And there may be nothing wrong with that. And it was kind of a discussion where like Amy was like, oh, man, that's very strange. Like you've never done that before. Kind of makes me like question like this. And I said, Amy, like you've known me for like years and years and years. And it's like, this is the first time this has ever happened. Like, wouldn't you trust my gut? In all the other occasions where I've been perfectly normal and I've never been rude to anybody, it's always a thing. I tip servers. I try to be as cordial as possible. This is the one occasion and my gut said something was wrong. Like, wouldn't you trust that? And there's no conclusion to this. Like, I didn't hear like, oh, this person murdered 15 people or blew up the whole hotel. I didn't hear any of that. There's no end to that story. But I would like to hear moments in your life when you go with your gut, when your gut tells you something that something's off, right or wrong. I would love to hear things where it's right and there's a proper payoff, but I would love to hear occasions in your life where your gut just said that something wasn't right and you went with it, or you trusted, or you didn't trust it and didn't go with it, and it either went right or wrong, or there was no repercussions for it. I just kind of want to explore the idea of this back of your mind subconscious signal that something is off.
Man, okay. That's a fun topic. I really thought you were going to ask the guy for a cream puff, so I could move in a whole different direction.
No. This is way before the cream puff was just recently. That was like last week.
And just so you know, for a moment, I forgot what a cream puff was, and I thought you'd ordered a cream pie at this store. And I was really curious what store you'd gone to order.
I don't think there's I can't say for certain if there's not a cream pie store, but no, cream puff.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah.
I think a man like you with such a strong German heritage would have had a cream puff at some point in his life.
Is it a German thing?
I think cream puffs are pretty German. Maybe that's false.
I don't know. Yeah. Cream puff.
Das Cream Puff.
I'm curious what you Googled.
A cream puff? What did you?
I Googled, are cream puffs German? Apparently they're French.
Profiterole? What is that?
Choux a la crème. Originated in France.
We are so cultured.
Yeah, whatever.
My strong German cream puff history.
Listen, I don't know why, but there's something in my life where German food and culture and cream puffs are inexorably tied together. It was like a restaurant or something I went to when I was a kid. Must be. Look, it's the Windbeutel. Windbeutel.
Ye old sausage puff.
German cream puffs.
Vin what?
Windbeutel.
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 Windbeutel. What are you saying?
We're probably not saying anything. I don't imagine our accents are very convincing here.
Ich spreche Deutsch.
Windbeutel.
Und meine, I don't know the word for accent. Meine Akzent ist sehr gut. Ja. That's the word for cream puff in German, though. Windbeutel.
More you know.
Windbeutel?
I thought that was something else.
Windbeutel?
Wind is puff, I guess? I don't know.
You know what? I'm going to trust my gut and believe you.
Trust your gut, Wade. Good job trusting your gut.
I will.
Yeah, all right. That's a point to Wade for trusting his gut. All right.
Don't call it a comeback.
All right. But if you guys need some time, I can put on some Jeopardy music or something, or some royalty-free, not Jeopardy music. That's not actually Jeopardy, but kind of Jeopardy music.
I do kind of need a minute to think through my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need like a moment because there's a lot of moments where I've like gone with my gut, but I don't know if it counts as a specific instance of like judging a person. I mean, there's definitely times I've done
It doesn't have to be. No. Anything. It's not about judging people. It's about gut. The gut part is what you focus on. Why would you focus on the person?
Well, yeah, I guess so. But your gut, I guess, is making a judgment. It's just like it's an instinctual judgment, not a thought processed one.
I have one.
He's got one.
I've got an idea. We've talked about it before, though, so it's not a new story. It's just a funny one.
is it me again?
Remember when we were all, you guys remember, we were all hanging out at Mark's place.
Remember?
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Shooting videos and doing getting ready for the tour, doing improv workshop stuff and, hanging out. And you guys Mark had this crazy idea to do like a sour challenge video. And something in my gut was just like, I don't know if we want to do this, Bob.
Yeah, mine too, but I needed the clout.
And so I was like, ooh, I'm feeling sick, guys. I don't think I can do a sour candies video. So I didn't, but then everyone else did, and it was really funny because you all destroyed your mouths. And yeah, I trusted my gut.
Because we were all bleeding by the end. We were literally bleeding.
I mean, yeah, I'd say that totally counts because honestly, your gut was 100% right. Like, my mouth was just healing for weeks after that. It took so long.
Ate, what, like a couple dozen sour warheads over the course of that? Like, it's a ton.
A couple dozen. I think it got up to 40 or 50.
It was 10 factorial warheads each. For those who went all the way down.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the total was like between 40 and 50. And I think I stopped at like 40 something, like 42.
Yeah.
And everyone else went to like 50.
Oh, yeah. I think me and Tyler went all the way.
I didn't eat any warheads.
Well, that reminds me of a time I didn't listen to my gut. There was this time we did this thing called the Sour Challenge where my gut was like, hey, you shouldn't do this.
No. No extra points. No extra points. Points to Bob.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not like a whole new. We've definitely talked about that before. That just popped into my brain.
I mean, we've never talked about it at length in this context, so therefore it's new, and I will treat it as such.
Other times I trusted my gut.
I mean, it's weird to differentiate because there's like in my brain right now, trusting my gut, like I know exactly what you're talking about, but there's also moments where like I get paralyzed by fear almost, and it's not a gut instinct, but it's like a similar phenomenon to where like that fear of messing up or fear of failure that I've battled, like it has a similar feeling to me where it's like I might mess this up, I need to back out, I gotta go, but like I've got to convince myself not to like listen to that. But it's weird how it hits almost the same way. So whenever I'm trying to come up with like these different ideas, like I have moments of like, oh, I was really scared to do that, and it's like, well, that's not the thing, but like it feels very similar, which is very strange.
You could just talk about what you're thinking of. I'll judge.
I have kind of a weird college story. Are we doing titles and everything?
You could do a title. I'll give bonus points for titles.
All right. I have kind of a story that I think qualifies for what you're looking for and is an interesting college story. I think it's interesting. I'm going to call it Bro. Gotta come pick me up.
Oh, okay. That's just going to be bro.
Bro.
You gotta come pick me up, bro.
I like that. That's good.
Would you like to submit a title, Wayne, or are you still thinking?
I'll do all mine together. You go ahead. I'm still thinking.
All right. Bob gets awarded the title point.
Oh, we were competing right then. I see. Damn it.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
All right. That's fair.
That's the old rules. This is the old world format.
Mm-hmm. The old world. Back in the old world.
You sweet summer children. You don't even know what the old world was like.
Oh, man, I came with a title, too. The moment too late.
You can throw it out there. It won't be better than mine, but you can try.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. You're going to die.
Yeah, I like Bob's Bear. But that's pretty good. Don't get me wrong. That's good.
Thank you.
I wouldn't. You're going to die. That is good.
Good fight. Anyway, so I tell my story?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was in college. This is going to be sometime around 2010. It's like a junior in college or something like that. And when I was in school, I was in... Oh, people have asked about this, so I can clear this up for sure. I was in a fraternity. I was in Phi Mu Alpha Symphonian, which is like a music fraternity. It wasn't like, oh, we live in a house and we drink natural lights or whatever on the weekends. It was like we're all musicians and we hang out and eat Skyline and serenade people on Valentine's Day. We had this event where you could pay us and we'd go around and serenade people really embarrassingly in their classes on Valentine's Day.
Nice.
That sort of stuff. And we sold grilled cheeses in the lobby of the music school. And it was a very successful venture, which I streamlined into a highly profitable business. But anyway,
Nice.
So I had some bros. So literally this guy who calls me on this night is a bro. I'm at home. I'm at my house that I live in with my roommates. And I'm just like sitting in my room playing Call of Duty or something on my Xbox. And nothing is happening. No plans. It's like a Thursday night. It's not the weekend. It's maybe almost a week. It's like Wednesday or Thursday. But it's not the weekend. So I'm just at home. You know, I have like class the next day or whatever. And I get a call from my friend who I'm going to call Grayson. And we hang out sometimes, but we're not like best buds. So it's kind of like, oh, weird. Grayson's calling. I wonder what's going on. And he calls me and I answer it. And he's like, Bob, is this Bob? I'm like, yeah, man, it's me. What's up, man? Like, okay, I'm struggling right now because I took like a lot of mushrooms and I'm outside at this park and everything's great, but I need to go to Terry's Turf Club and you need to take me. And like, this is not a request that I would normally get. And, you know, this guy and I hang out at like fraternity functions and we're cool. And we have hung out like after college. I've seen him. So we're like friends, but this is a weird request. And normally, you know, if you're a normal person, you might kind of be like, okay, buddy. Okay, be safe. Like I'm not going to do that. Do you need me to bring you home? And mind you, it's like nighttime, okay? It's not like he's at the park during the day. It's dark out in Cincinnati, which is not a safe place in certain areas. And like parks around campus in Cincinnati, kind of sketchy after dark, around the University of Cincinnati, not the best place. And he's like, I'm just laying here, just looking around. I had an epiphany. We have to go to Terry's Turf Club. And I don't know what that is.
Oh, really?
He says this like it's a thing that I should know what it is. I mean, I do now, but I had never heard of this before. And I was like, I can't tell if that's like a mini golf course or like a AstroTurf Emporium where you go to pick out turf for your yard or what.
Yeah.
Mark, do you know what it is?
No, don't spoil it.
Okay, I won't. I was just curious.
And so, like, this is weird, right? And any normal person on any given night might have just been like, look, I will give you a ride home maybe if you're in trouble, but, you know, I'm good, man. My gut was just like, you have to go to Grayson. This is going to be a night, and you have to bring someone. Can't just be the two of you. I don't know why. So eventually, like he talks for a minute, and I'm like, "Are you good?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. We just have to go, and you have to bring me there." And I'm like, "All right, well, can I get like a couple of guys? Can we like a car full of guys so we can all go together?" And he's like, "Yeah, get the bros. I'll be here." And he sort of tells me where he is, which is literally just laying on a grassy hill on the side of a road, staring up at the stars. And I go down and I get my roommate, one of my roommates at the time, and explain it. And he's like, "I'm not doing anything. Yeah, whatever. What's Terry's Turf Club? I don't know." And I'm like, "I don't know what it is, but we have to go, right? I feel like we have to go," Grayson said. And so we get in the car and we drive over and pick him up literally off the side of a busy road. There's no parking spots or anything. I just stop in traffic and Grayson gets in the car and he's like, go like north, go to this road and then just go north and we'll get there. And I'm like, this is kind of in the area where you have GPS, but it's not really readily available. So I'm trusting this buddy of mine, who I know I trust, but is high out of his mind on mushrooms, according to him. And I'm just trusting him, and we're just driving, and we're driving, and it's not very close to campus where we live. It's somewhere north of campus, like in the suburbs almost of Cincinnati. I don't remember very well, but anyway, we're driving. Finally, he's like, "All right, this is the street. It's on the right up here. You'll see it." And we pull up, and it's this like awesome looking diner, like a old school looking diner restaurant with a big sign out front that says Terry's Turf Club. Oh. And we see it, and there's just a crowd of people. It's like Thursday night at like 10 o'clock, and there's a crowd of people. So immediately I'm like, well, I don't know if I can afford this. I'm a college kid. And Grayson's like, I got you. This is on me, guys. We have to do this. I will buy this for us. So then I'm like, okay, sick. There's this huge line of people. This must be awesome. And we go, and the lady is like, the hostess is like, yeah, there's a bit of a wait, probably like 2 hours for you guys to get a table. And my friend and I are like, all right, let's get out of here. Like, I've never waited that long. And Grayson is like, that's fine. That's how long it always is. Don't worry. There's this bar next door. We'll just hang out over there. To be completely transparent, my friend that I brought with me was 21. So I think I was 20 at this time.
Yeah.
Not of drinking age. And I was like, yeah, I can't, they won't let me, they won't let me in there. It's a bar and it's like it's nighttime. He's like, nah, they don't care. I know these people. They're not going to check us. It's going to be fine. We go, we sit down. Grayson orders a round of drinks and we're sitting in this bar and I'm pretty uneasy about it, but I'm still like really intrigued about Terry's Turf Club. Turns out Terry's Turf Club is this like legendary food establishment in the Cincinnati area, known for particularly their foie gras, which is like goose liver. Mm-hmm. It's the one and only time in my life I've ever eaten foie gras. And it was at this diner. There's not a lot else that happened on this particular evening that was crazy. We hung out at the bar and then we got a table. The place was packed. I had the foie gras, and I think I had a burger or something, which is sort of, they had a good burger was what I was told or whatever. And it was delicious. And we had this amazing night, and it's like etched into my memory. And it's literally all because when Grayson called, I just had that gut feeling where he called with this crazy ass request, and at that point I had friends who called and were like, dude, we're drinking, come to this bar. And I was that guy who was always like, nah, I'm good. Like, I don't want to, it's 11 o'clock. I don't want to come now out to a bar where you guys are already way ahead of me, having a rough night, whatever. I'll catch you next time. But this one time, Grayson called and was just higher than I could imagine, barely functioning. But he was like, we have to do it. And my gut was like, do it. And it's just like a beautiful memory. Nothing insane happened. No one got hurt or anything. We just dropped Grayson off at home and then went on home. And yeah, I would never have experienced Terry's Turf Club. And I can't believe you haven't, Mark. It's apparently like a legendary thing in Cincinnati that I had never heard of until that night.
I've never heard of it.
They actually almost got shut down, or they almost shut down a few years ago, and like a new owner stepped in and bought the place. So it's actually under new ownership now. But yeah, it's one of like the things to do in Cincinnati is go to Terry's Turf Club.
Huh. I've never been there, ever.
It's very cool. You have to wait quite a bit if you go at any point where it's busy, but it's very cool and absolutely worth it.
It seems to now be just called the Turf Club.
Yeah, because Terry is no longer in the picture.
Terry doesn't own it.
I see. Terry's in the picture.
Something maybe happened to Terry.
Terry don't work here no more. He don't work
That's what
at
he gets
all.
for robbing my liquor store.
That's why we call him No Hands Terry now.
Yeah. Oh, no, I ain't Terry. I'm Tony. Yeah, this is Tony's Turf Club now.
Perry's Turf Club.
Yeah, Perry is over there. I don't know. What the fuck? Anyway, that is good. I love that you trusted your gut on that night. Because it's so easy just to stay at home and be like, I don't feel like it. I get there. Your friend calls you high on shrooms. Maybe that's really a coin toss of whether that's going to go. So you just got to go with your gut on it.
Yeah, no, I fully expected that to be like, we get in and he's like, let's get some Wendy's or something. And then we just get Wendy's and go. And it's like, all right, man, give you a ride home. That's cool.
Yeah.
In which, I have done that where a friend called and they were like, I'm too drunk. Or like, I'm at this place and I don't know where I am. And it's like, yeah, well, I'll help you.
Yeah.
I have a car and I'm sober so I can drive, so I'll come and I'll give you a lift, whatever. But that night, it's like a shimmering memory for me. And you guys know I'm notorious for having an awful memory and forgetting things that I myself said in the not too distant past. But that happened literally over a decade ago, and I still remember. I remember what the foie gras looked like. It came in this little paper tub, served on like a bed of like ruffly lettuce, and it came with this sauce. And like I can remember the whole scene really vividly. It was just this crazy, awesome night. All thanks to my gut.
That's nice. I will award you some points.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I would like to actually lead off with I came up with a different story.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
So I've got the other one still to tell, but this one I feel like is just more interesting.
I'm down.
And I've got a couple working titles for it. The first title would be "Let Me In." The next title,
You're always so creepy. What happens?
this story's kind of, I don't know. The next one is
I don't like it.
"The Untrustworthy Solicitor" is the other working title I've got here.
Oh, what is this, a Victorian horror story?
I mean, kind of.
Am I supposed to pick? Am I supposed to pick what title?
No, those are just the two I came up with. I wanted to share both. I like both.
I see.
So I want to preface with like nothing actually crazy ended up happening here, but this is definitely a moment where sometimes you see a person and like you get that immediate gut reaction, right? That immediate like instinctual judgment of like, I can trust this person, I can't trust this person.
Yeah.
Like you did with the clerk. So we get solicitors from time to time that go door to door. Sometimes they're selling stuff, like it'll be a kid with Girl Scout cookies or popcorn or whatever. A lot of times it's these like bug people that they want to come and like, oh, do you have ants? Do you have termites? Well, we can do this thing. And that was the case in this part. So this guy knocks on the door and I answer it, and immediately, like whenever I answer, he's smiling, but like there was something about his eyes that I just immediately did not trust him at all. I was like, I will not let this man in my house. I'm going to be like, kind of like you said, it was like, I need to get this guy away as fast as possible. Don't engage in long conversation. Don't be too friendly. I need him to go away.
Yeah.
And immediately I found out that wasn't going to be the case. He was like, hey, we're doing a house in the neighborhood and we wanted to know if you have any insect problems. Do you have this, or this? I was like, no. And actually we had some stuff done, which we did. Actually, we had stuff done like a couple months before. So we're good. Thank you. And he's like, well, what kind of stuff did you have done? And well, we had some, small ants and we got rid of them. We're good. Oh, do you know what stuff they used? No. Well, do you mind if I come in and take a look at what they might have done? I was like, no, you cannot come in and take a look. And he's like, well, I can walk around the property. Maybe they did some stuff. No, that's okay. And he's like, well, do you have the receipt? Let me look over the receipt. I can see what chemicals they use. Like, he just kept getting more and more personal where it's like, yeah, can I see what credit card you paid with? Like, it just got really uncomfortable. But like the most unsettling part was just like the serial killer expression on his face of like smiling, but his eyes were just like, I don't know, there was something cold and not personable about the eyes. When I was trying to talk to him, it was like I tried to avoid looking at his face because it was so unsettling. Just something about the way he smiled, it made me feel super uncomfortable. And then on top of that, the like, let me come case your house. And I don't know. And he just would not take no for an answer.
So literally, like, he just wanted to get inside your house one way or another.
Well, yeah, and I asked him, like, what, I forget the name at this point. I wouldn't say it if I remembered, but like, I was what company he was with. And he's like, oh, so-and-so. I was like, oh, I've not heard of them. Do you have like a card? No, I don't. Okay. So you have no documentation that you work for this company you claim to work for, and you really want to see a receipt with my personal information or come look inside my house where this person who sprayed was not. They did not come inside. They just did stuff outside.
You work for that company. It's weird. You don't have like a uniform? You guys don't have like a with the thing? Like, oh, it's at the cleaners. I got stuff on it.
Well, he had a shirt with like a logo on it, but like you can just go make a shirt. Like you could literally just do that. But I don't know. I just the immediate gut reaction of like I looked him in the eye and it was like, get this man away from your house. And then him proceeding to like try everything he could to get inside was just super uncomfortable. And I'm a very charismatic person. I can handle conversations pretty well. Good ones, bad ones, uncomfortable ones, whatever. I can handle it.
What was he selling?
He wanted to do like insect repellent,
right?
Basically. Yeah, like pesticides. He wanted to like make sure that we didn't get ants or ladybugs or stink bugs or whatever. So he wanted to take a look at the house and, drill some holes in the foundation to put in their anti-bug shit. And I told him we just had stuff done and he was like, did you? Prove it. And it's like, I don't have to do that. I'm telling you, no, leave.
Oh, man.
And then like, can I come inside? Like, why? What in the world do you need to come inside my house for? But I don't know. That interaction has stuck with me because you guys cannot see the face. But just imagine like watching a movie and seeing like a Hannibal Lecter type face where it's like, he's smiling, but like you just feel super unsettled by it. That was the exact feeling. And the dude wasn't a big guy. He was probably average height, short black hair, but there was just something in his eyes that were like, if I let this man in my house, he's going to kill me. Was like my gut was telling me that.
Yeah, at best, he's going to get in your house and then bust out his jar of termites and sprinkle it on your carpet and be like, oh, look at this. Oh, my goodness, you need me. Or he's going to kill you. Like, it's one or the other. Really hit or miss.
It felt like he wanted to case the house to see if it was worth robbing us or something. But like, he was probably legitimately just a bug dude that didn't have the best salesmanship. But there was something about his face that said, I don't know, I could not trust him at all.
Yeah, I get that. That makes sense.
I think I would guess too, just guessing, because that's like my go-to thing for shutting down people who come to the door, because we get that a lot for like solar power, landscaping. The window companies around us are really aggressive. We get all these random things, which by the way, dear companies, never ever am I sitting in my house like, oh, we need windows. I wish I didn't have to leave home in order to get them. I'll just wait until some guy comes to my door and I'll buy windows from him. No one thinks like that. Like, how successful could that be? But whenever anyone comes, no matter what it is, like window guys, I'm like, we just got new windows. And they're like, shucks. And like, the Jehovah's Witness come and I'm like, I already found God. And they're like, oh, okay.
I just love it. Like, you couldn't tell I got new windows. Fuck! Jehovah's Witness. I already found God. Oh, fuck! How could I not? Oh, I'm just fucking stupid.
God, that would be so good.
I already found God. God damn it, another one.
Fuck!
I mean, have a blessed day.
I'm sure those guys are used to that, where everyone is just like, I already got the thing. And they're like, oh, yeah, did you? Just like all the other neighbors on this block? I don't believe you. Prove it. But also, that's weird. I just also love the image of like two Mormon guys in the shirts and the ties on your doorstep with the bikes. They're like, we just want to talk to you about, the Church of Jesus Christ. And you're like, I died and went to heaven. I figured it out. Sorry, guys. Fuck. Throw their bikes down like, damn it.
The last time we recorded the podcast, I don't think I told you guys this, but I had two guys from a local church show up, and they were like giving me a pamphlet and telling me about like Jesus, our Christ, our Lord, and all that stuff. And they're like, you should come to our church. And I was like, guys, I really got to go. I can't talk about this. I got to go to work, because I was getting ready to come down here and record. But being as I don't think we were doing a stream that day, so I was wearing like obviously pajamas, like a fucking stained shirt. I had my shorts on, my glasses on. I looked disheveled as hell, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta go to work. I gotta be there in like 2 minutes. And they just looked like, have a good day at work, sir. I was like, they don't believe me at all. They think I'm lying to them, but I really do. I gotta go work right now. And that also stuck with me, because I felt guilty that they thought I was lying to them when I in fact was not. But I realized the moment I closed the door.
Oh, guilty?
Well,
I love that. I love the idea that any interaction a door-to-door salesperson has with me, I'm not trying to be mean to them, but I will love for them to leave feeling really confused. One of my favorite, like one of the funniest things I've ever seen on Unis Honest.
Yeah.
When you guys did the sex toys breakfast video, and Mark is trying to choke down some scrambled eggs with like a gag thing on his mouth, and he's just like, and then Mark's eyes as he like makes eye contact with the guy outside walking up to the door. That's so, because and you said in the video, I think you went and answered it, and it was like a delivery or something, and the guy was just like, oh, here you go.
Yep.
All right, have a good one, and just left.
No, that's
didn't fucking say anything.
100% real. That actually happened. Literally, as I'm,
I want to know what his gut said about you when you answered the door.
His gut said, just deliver the package and get out of there. You don't need a signature this time. You don't need it.
Boy, do I have a story to tell when I get home.
Yeah.
Don't engage. Don't engage. If they invite you inside, you say no.
I'm real busy. I got a meeting to get to.
Never again.
Hey, your mail truck might have some problems. Oh, thank you. I'm good. Sure, you don't mean to come in there and look at for bugs? No. You did start off this by saying an HVAC person came in and assured you that there was no one spying on you. So there's some relation here.
Yeah, that super uncomfortable words.
I love the idea of just confusing the shit out of those people, though. It's glorious.
You said you had another story, though, Wade.
I've got a couple. Yeah. If we're doing titles again, I guess this one would be called I'd give an arm and a leg to be there.
All right.
Do you want to do one, Bob, or just me going?
Yeah, Bob. Do you have?
I don't know if I really have another one.
Okay, I can just go for now, and you can think on it.
I had an idea, but then I got really wrapped up in your story, and I kind of forgot it.
All right.
Go ahead.
So this is similar to your first story, where this isn't like a direct judgment on like a gut feeling about a person. This is just a gut feeling in general. I had a friend who was throwing like a I'm going away to college party. He was moving away to go to a college kind of far away, and we knew we wouldn't see each other for a while. And I was working late night at this ice cream place. I think everyone knows I worked at United Dairy Farmers by now, so it doesn't really matter. United Dairy Farmers, which like gas station, ice cream, convenience store, whatever, all wrapped into one. And I had to work late. So I got off at like 10 o'clock this particular night, drove over. His goodbye party had already started. People were already there. And I showed up, and there were a lot of people there I didn't recognize, which was kind of confusing. I was like, because we were pretty good friends. So I thought we had like a lot of the same friend group. And I was like, okay, well, I know who will be there at least. And I showed up, and a lot of people I did know were there, and a lot of people I didn't know were there. But one of the concerning things was that as the night went on, I learned more and more about the things that were going on here that I didn't want to be a part of. So, for instance, there were some people there that I don't think were old enough to drink, that were definitely drinking. There was another person dropping their pants, hitting on my friend's mom, which was weird.
I'm sorry, what?
Yep. And I was thinking, my brain is like, you need to leave, you need to leave, you need to leave. But my gut said, you need to stay. If shit goes sideways, someone that's not fucked up needs to be here to be responsible and to help. You need to stay. Just suck it up, deal with it. If worse comes to worse, the right thing is to stay. And my brain is like, God, no, it's not. I'm not going to jail for all this crazy shit happening. I don't want to be a part of this. And then as the night goes on, I found out that there was a man in my friend's bedroom giving tattoos.
What? What?
giving. Yep, he was just, you got really high, really drunk, really whatever, and you wanted a tattoo, just go into the bedroom, get it done. And there was something going on in the garage. I didn't know what was going on in the garage, didn't want to know. So I just hung out, chatted with people, didn't drink, didn't do anything. I was a goody. But I just, hanging out. Everyone else was having a great time, and I was just there kind of watching over, making sure that hopefully things didn't get worse than they already were. A couple of my friends snuck out at one point, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna go break into the neighborhood pool and we're gonna go skinny dipping. And I was like, sounds like a terrible idea, but I guess it's better than being here with the tattoos and the underage stuff that's happening. So have fun with that. A little bit later, we get, I think it was a text. I don't think they came back. I think it was a text. Hey, need you to clear out the house. Everything's bad. Ambulance on the way.
Oh.
What? Well, it turns out that in order to break into this pool, you had to climb a fence, and it was getting late at this point. There was dew on the grass. My friend, I'm not going to say her name, she was wearing like flip-flops, and she realized climbing this fence in flip-flops wasn't going to work. So she kicked them off and tried to do this barefoot. The top of this fence had, we'll just call them what they are, spikes, basically.
Yeah.
And as she was climbing with feet that had stepped in dewy grass over this fence while pretty heavily intoxicated, she slipped at the top and impaled her thigh on this fence. And she was stuck dangling just by her thigh on the fence.
Oh, God.
God.
So,
Jeez.
luckily with her was my friend's mom, who I guess had also intended on going skinny dipping with them, or at least watching over them. But she was a nurse, and she was able to determine like an artery wasn't hit. She's a nurse, so. Nurse mom was there
upstairs at the party with the drinking and the tattoos. Her kids come up and are like, "We're gonna skinny dip in the pool," and she's like, "Oh, that sounds fun. I'll drive you." What?
Yeah, well, she was there, and she was like, okay, well, you didn't hit an artery. We got to get you to a hospital. They're going to have to get you off this fence. So she and other drunk friend lifted her off of the fence, which, as you can imagine, was not a pleasant, fun experience. I offered to come help. They said they would let us know. They thought they could get her off the fence and get her to the hospital, but we had to clear out the house. So we started clearing out the house. I don't know if I want to say who else was there.
What? You didn't say, and you don't have to, but who texted you? Because did this mom text you and be like, "Hey, Wade, it's Mrs. Jorgensen.
She contacted her son.
Can you clear out the party?"
She contacted her son. He immediately left to go, he didn't say a word. He just left to go help. None of us knew what was happening until he got up there, and then he texted and asked us to clear the house. So,
Yikes.
Yike.
Yeah.
Also, you remember I told you guys I have that thing about leg injuries and they make me deeply uncomfortable?
I did not remember that.
I do remember.
It turns out the thigh impalement,
Sorry.
close enough. Really doing it to
bad.
me. Having heart palpitations over here. That's horrific.
I'm sorry, I did not remember that.
God.
We're getting older, sometimes I forget.
Yeah.
We should do an episode about that.
Oh, boy.
That's a great topic. Sorry, continue.
So I have to go into the bedroom and be like, hey, tattoo guy, you're doing great work. Get out.
Oh, great tattoos.
Hey, all you crazy kids that are definitely too young to be here doing what you're doing, leave. And there were some people that were like, no, I'm not leaving. I'm having a good time. And I was like, tell that to the police when they get here, which was a bluff. But they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, so-and-so got hurt. Ambulance came to get them. Police are on the way to see what the hell's going on. I would get out of here if I were you. And that got them moving. And then I went to the garage and I was like, I don't know what's going on in the garage, but I've got to clear it out too. I opened the door and it is just smoke.
It's just smoke.
Just smoke. I can't see a damn thing. It is just like the stereotypical, hot boxing car thing where you can't see in the car because there's so much smoke. That was this garage. There was so much pot being smoked that the whole garage was just a cloud. And I'm like, hey, you guys gotta leave. Police are on their way. And then all of a sudden, I'm just looking into a chest. Like, what?
A chest? Like a
chest.
Like a box chest?
No, like a man's chest. Like a man who towered over me. And I was 6'3", 6'4" at the time, fully grown. And this man, I was nipple height. My eyes were nipple height. And I looked up at this guy, this big, buff, scary, giant man, and I was like, you have to leave. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, so-and-so got hurt. Police are on their way. He's like, oh, thanks, buddy. All right. And he was really nice, like patted me on the shoulder and just booked it.
Oh, thanks, pal.
I have no idea who this giant man was, but he was just the owner of that garage, and I'm glad that he was friendly after he realized that I was giving him a fair warning.
I'm so confused as to, this was all at your house, right?
No, this is my friend's house.
Not
Not my house.
Oh, okay. But your mom was there.
Not my mom.
Whose mom?
My friend's whose house it was his parents' house, and his mom was there.
And his mom was a nurse.
They were hosting the party, obviously.
She was supervising, I guess.
So it's one of those cool parents.
Jeez.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, this was a shock to everyone involved because normally, I mean, he was an only child, sure, and he was a little spoiled, but like they weren't that loose with him generally. Like normally they were pretty buttoned with like, they'll let him get away with so much, but this party was something else. This was something nobody, I don't think, expected this to get to where it got. I don't know how it escalated to that point, but she was just sitting around chatting, like having a couple drinks, and I don't know. One friend just kept hitting on her, which was awkward as hell. There was the underage thing, the tattoos, the pot garage, the earmuffs, Bob, the friend hanging off of a fence. There was just all kinds of crazy stuff happening.
That was not enough warning.
What do you mean? That was plenty of warning.
I don't think you gave him nearly enough time.
You can listen now, Bob.
The leg, hang on, Bob. Impalement.
So we clear out the house and we're like, okay, well, let's get to the hospital. Let's go see if our friend's okay. So we go to leave, and I don't know if you want to listen to this detail, Bob. I don't know. Just count to like 10, I guess, if you don't want to hear this.
Well, I have to listen.
Driving out, we had to pass the pool, and we drove kind of slowly by it, and we could literally see the spoke that bent for being stuck on it. And well, not all of her made it to the hospital because there was definitely some stuff on the spike. It was awful. It was an awful scene.
Oh man. God.
Yeah. So we drove her to the hospital. We got there. We had to wait a long time. And I asked the question. I was like, well, what are we going to do about the bent spoke at the pool? And they're like, oh, don't worry. So-and-so's on it. He's got a hose and he's going to try to bend it back. And I was like, excuse me? Somehow someone got a hose up there and tried to clean it up a bit. They could not bend it back. And I think it is still bent to this day. The last time I was there, which has been a few years because we moved away a while ago, but yeah, she ended up being okay. Has a pretty nasty scar. But while we were there, I made the joke that she was the only one that was willing to give an arm and a leg to be at the party, and then she laughed and then started crying because it hurt so bad to laugh. And that always stuck with me. But yeah, I stayed. I trusted my gut and stayed. And all hell broke loose, and I was one of the few responsible ones there to help handle things. But my brain knew that everything was wrong, and it sure as fuck was.
All right.
You guys ever have a party like that you've been to where you show up and everything possible illegal is going on and you're like, man, I need to leave immediately, but your gut's like, no, you don't. Because normally it's the opposite, right?
No, that whole story was just a series of gut decisions, and I don't know what decisions you really made there. Like, do you think that your presence at that party averted disaster?
I had to leave out some details because they're like, they either give away like location or people specifically. But yeah, there were definitely moments where I steered people away from doing dumb stuff, such as the tattoos. There were definitely a few people that were like, fuck it, you know what? I'm going to go get this right now. And it's like, you don't want to do that right now with a random man in a bedroom.
What
You do
party
not.
had this? How?
Yeah, this is like the party from a Zac Efron as a teenager movie. Like, this is the kind of thing that happens where I see it on TV or in a movie and I'm like, that never happens in real life.
Yeah, I've had a few moments, and especially in my high school career, I had a few moments between then and early college days where stuff that's not supposed to be real sure as hell ended up being real. I think I've told you all I lived through a drug bust where I woke up to a policeman with a flashlight in my face telling me to get downstairs while they searched our house for drugs because of a lovely family member of mine who I love dearly, who was always very kind to us and definitely didn't plant drugs in our house. Just, I've been through some things that I think the average person probably hasn't. And this party was definitely one where it was like, let's go say goodbye to our friend. And it ended up in the ER with just so many questions. And then I had to explain to my ex at the time why I was like so late getting home. It's like, went to say goodbye to so-and-so and so-and-so ended up on a fence. So had to go to the hospital. I'll be home later. Yeah.
That is quite a story.
Yeah.
I will give you many points.
Wow.
After we'll talk more about it. Remind me after we're done. Like I said, I don't want to call it specific people, but like it was interesting. There was a couple of the responsible people there too. It wasn't just me. There was at least 2 other people, but one of them left early. And my God, am I glad I wasn't alone. But trying to clear out a bunch of people that are either high, drunk, both, or who knows what, people you don't know that are in a house like this is terrifying. Because I'm just expecting to get like stabbed or shot or both. Like, leave the house. No. And that fear was on my mind. But everyone's okay somehow, despite that and other stories that I haven't told and may not ever tell.
That is, I sometimes forget just like the kind of shit that went on in your high school experience versus mine. Like I just had a very different experience altogether.
It's like I had so many friends that were raised by like strict parents that like as high school went on, they just went wild, and I felt responsible for them. Like I needed to be there, like to be I always called myself Chucky from Rugrats. I was always the one that's like, that's not such a good idea. You don't want to do that. And then they would inevitably not listen, and then I'd have to be there to help clean up the mess. And it was really miserable a lot of times being that person. But like I felt like if I wasn't there to help, I would feel immensely guilty knowing I could have been there to help stop something or to help them get like to a doctor or whatever else. So I stayed with it and stuck with it despite being very miserable a lot of the time because I wanted nothing to do with the shit that they got into.
Yeah, I feel that.
All right, well, sorry for taking so much time on that story, but it was that's one I think I've held for a while.
No, it's good. It's good. It's a good thing.
Crazy.
Yeah, that is a little crazy.
That's a crazy party.
That's pretty all right.
Sure was, and it got worse as the night went on. Much worse.
Much worse. Or much better.
Better for the story, awful for the moment of being there. I don't know. Do you ever center yourself if you're in an uncomfortable situation? You just look around and you're like, you look to your left, it's like, oh God. You look straight ahead, it's like, oh man. You look to your right, and it's like, oh fuck. And then something weird's in the garage. Like everywhere I looked, there was something else going on. There was tattoos to the left. There was my friend's ass trying to hit on my other friend's mom outside. There was what to me were kids doing stupid shit like to the right. And then I knew behind me in the garage, there was something going on in there. Didn't know what. Like, and then the fence thing happened. It's just like surrounded by awful. And it's like at any given moment, you're like feeling like you're in the middle of a powder keg about to explode. No, not really. I found myself not in that extreme of a situation, but in situations like that so many more times than I wish I had growing up.
It is unusual, I would say. It's more movie high school experience-esque than, you might think.
Not a good movie.
Well, and I'm curious, I guess, too. I would love to hear responses in the subreddit. Does that happen? I feel like, to me and my life experience, that seems like the not common version of what happens in high school. But is that what kids do? Did I have a lame high school experience where we just played video games and drank Mountain Dew and like didn't get impaled on fences or to get tattoos in my friend's mom's bedroom or whatever?
My friend group was also very heavily influenced. We grew up in like the original Jackass movies days.
Oh, yeah.
So my friends did a lot of things like recording, like, let's do Jackass things. Like one of them volunteered to be hit by a car at one point.
We did that too. We like pulled each other on roller skates behind cars and hit each other in the ass with wiffle ball bats, but nothing permanently life-ending or altering quite so much as it sounds like some of the people were into.
Then you didn't live.
No.
I guess not.
$20, my friend let you shoot him with a BB gun. One of them volunteered to literally be run over by his own car.
That's not good.
At like 20 miles an hour.
That seems like an obviously bad decision.
At the last moment, he realized he didn't think he would fit under it, so he jumped and then like shattered his own windshield with his body to not go under.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, we had a crew. I was not there for those moments, thankfully. Those were moments I would not have let that happen. If I was there, I would have been like, dude, I don't care. I will call the police on you if you guys try to run over this person. I'm not going to let you murder them. I did have a line. I let a lot of dumb shit happen because they were my friends, and I knew if I wasn't, they would just do it without me there. So it's like, okay, well, I can stop them this time, or this time I can at least talk them down a little bit. But there were times I had to cave in and let them do dumb shit, or else I knew they would just do it behind my back, and I wouldn't be there to help when things inevitably went wrong. It was an uncomfortable part of the friendship to be in, for sure. But
do you feel like you got enough out of the friendship to make it all worth it?
Probably not. It was more so like we were friends for a long time. A lot of us were friends for a long time, and then I saw like the rebelness in them start to go, and it's like I couldn't rein it in. So they just had to experience it, I guess. And luckily nobody died, which is shocking, really.
That does sound shocking.
I have a heartwarming trusting your gut story.
All right.
Good. I don't have any of those.
That's good.
I'm going to call this one I Knew It.
Nice.
Yeah. Wait, even better. At first sight.
Oh,
All right.
what about I knew it at first sight?
Nah, that's not good.
Okay. All right. Right enough.
Wait, even better. At first sight, I knew it.
Oh, I love it. That's the one. That's the one.
All right, perfect.
All right. All right.
This one's not super long, but I tend to be a very gut listening type person when it comes to decisions.
Yeah.
Places that like Mandy and I have lived, every place we've lived, when we walked in to like see the apartment or see the house or whatever, we walked in and within the first couple minutes of looking around and like getting a sense of the place, it's somewhere inside of me. I was for all the places we've lived, I was like, yeah, this is the one. And it's not like I just dictated that and I was like, this is it, we're done, we're not looking. In every case we looked, like one of the first places we looked at, my gut was like, this will be the place, this is the right place. And then we would look at like half a dozen other apartments or whatever, trying to find the right place at the right price. And we've only lived in a few places together so far, but I have been correct every time. And so I tend to listen to my gut for decisions like that. And I guess it was in like 2009, and in college again, I was living in this house with some buddies, and we decided to have a Halloween party. And we decided to just like invite everybody we knew in the music school. We were like, come over, bring whoever, big Halloween party at our house. We're going to have music and whatever. It should be fun. And it was a cool house. It was a cool house with like there was a kitchen area, and then there was like an upstairs area that overlooked the kitchen. And there was also like an outside balcony. It was like a good hanging out house. It was a fun house. And at this party, a lot of people showed up, and one particular person showed up. This girl showed up who I had not met before, who was in the music school, and we just happened to have matching costumes. I was dressed as like a 1920s gangster because I had a custom-made fedora, because of course I did. And I wore a suit and I was a gangster, and this girl showed up and she was dressed as a flapper, which is like, dressed in sort of 20s era, like a feather boa and just,
Yeah,
flapper.
of course.
We matched, basically. We're from the same general time. And I remember, I didn't know this person. I'd never talked to her. She walked in and I was like, oh, our costumes match. Oh, wow. And just sort of like thought and looked for a minute and like said hi. And then she just went around hanging out at the party with other friends. And I remember that night, I told my friends, I was like, I really want to kiss that girl. Which is a weird thing for me. If you know me personally, I'm super timid in terms of like dating people. I didn't really date a lot of people, but this girl showed up at this party and I just had this gut feeling of like, I just feel like I need to I want to get to know this girl. And I did. I hung around all night and tried to weasel into the circle she was in to have conversations, and was trying to be flirty. And I didn't end up kissing her that night, but I just had that feeling of I gotta date her or something. I don't know. And it turned out that I don't know if she was single at that party. I think she still had a high school boyfriend. She was a freshman, and it was pretty early in the school year. And then she ended up dating someone else. But it turns out that girl was Mandy. And a couple years, or almost a year, I don't know, it was almost a year after that initial night where I met her and was immediately infatuated, we started dating. And
Yes, I was hoping you would.
yeah. Well, spoilers, I guess, but we're married now.
Oh,
Congratulations.
So it kind of worked out.
yeah. That's lovely.
One of you was there. I guess it wasn't Wade.
All right. Well, that's true.
But my gut was right. Turns out I did want to kiss Mandy and also marry her. So that was a good one.
That's a good one. And with that, we bring this to a close. So let me tally up the final points. That was a good gut. That's like a pretty good gut instinct to follow. That's about as good as it can get. So I'll give you some good points for that.
And nailed it, right?
Yeah, you really did nail it. You nailed it good. So with that being said, I'm looking at the scoreboard. Is there any last minute, sweetenings of the deal that anyone wants to squeak into the judgment round? Doors closing.
I think you should trust your gut. You remember the story I told about ruining that gas station bathroom with the world's worst episode of diarrhea? I had a gut feeling when I cooked the dinner that caused that. I was like, ooh, this meat's kind of funky. It'll be fine if I cook it. Should have trusted my gut. Trust your gut, people.
All right, that's good.
Consequences can be dire.
I like that. Wade?
My gut says to say no. I've got nothing else to add.
All right.
Bold.
It's a coin flip whether that works out or not. And according to my points, Wade, you have 10 points.
Oh, yeah.
Bob, you have 12.
Wait.
And with
how many
that,
did I get for that last thing?
I actually didn't award any
Oh.
for either of them.
Well, I won
My
anyway.
gut was right. My gut knew it was a waste of time. Hell
Yep, it was a waste of time, but congratulations, Bob. You have won.
Wow.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Yep. And with
I forgot what it was like to win.
I know, and that means that this week you won the $100 grand prize along with the judging of the next round.
Wait, there's money prizes?
Yeah.
Is that like a gift card or something? Or?
No, I'm gonna Venmo you $100 right now.
Huh.
I'm gonna do this. I'm
Wait.
doing it. Venmo.
This comes with a money prize?
Yep.
What's second place get?
Nothing.
Okay, well, one of us just had to pay $15,000 for an HVAC, but I guess Bob deserves $100. That's fine.
Hey, I had to buy a new HVAC system at the last place we lived like 7 years ago. So I'm still that was expensive.
Yeah.
You want to compare home bills, Bob? Do you really want to do this?
Okay.
I mean, I do.
I know you got like a fridge, but
I do because it would make me feel better.
yeah.
Well, it feels good to win, you know? You guys really rigged the game last week. I was pretty sure I should have won last week since I was the only one actually competing. But then there was literally no chance I was going to win, apparently. So that seemed pretty unfair. So this feels like justice, which I love.
All right, good justice. So congratulations, and Wade, I will provide you an opportunity for a loser speech. 5.
I feel like I've given too many of these loser
3,
speeches, and
2,
well, I don't know what to say, so I got
1.
nothing. So thank you for your time.
All right, thank you everybody so much for listening. You can check us out every Monday, and if you join us on the YouTube channel, occasionally we will do live streams where we talk about even more topics that are ridiculous in the world out there. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and check out Bob at MyScrim and Wade at Lord Minion 777 or Minion 777 on Twitch. Thank you, and I suppose that's all we got for tonight. So, podcast out.